So we've had a look at an overview of the ForWord suite of programs and the science that they're based on. But who do these programs actually benefit? So in a nutshell, basically everybody. Not only do the programs help our struggling learners, and we'll have a look at those specific groups, but the programs are also incredibly beneficial for developing learning enhancement, even in our students with no prescribed difficulties. The ForWord programs are enormously beneficial for students that have struggled to develop both oral language and reading. So those specific groups of children who we know have those underlying glitches with auditory processing, with receptive and expressive language difficulties, poor vocabulary, poor phonology, poor morphology, all of those things that we've discussed earlier. But it also is incredibly beneficial for other groups of children, children on the autistic spectrum, particularly those higher functioning children with autism who have more subtle difficulties with language. It's also very beneficial for students learning English as a second language, because what it's doing is it's fine-tuning the brain to the phonemes of English, and it's also developing English vocabulary, English grammar, and so we find it's been very beneficial for those students as well. ForWord has also been shown to be beneficial for children with auditory processing disorder, children with reading impairment such as dyslexia. It's also been used to enhance listening skills in children who have had cochlear implants. It's also been proved to be beneficial for both children and adults who have had acquired brain injury leading to disruption in their language skills, both their oral language and written language skills. The ForWord programs have also been proved beneficial for children with developmental delay. We've had children with Down syndrome and other syndromes that have resulted in low IQ, and we've been able to improve their language function with these programs. These children do take a little longer to get through the programs, but we've actually had very good results in terms of improved language function with this group. The programs have also been used for what we call the gifted learning difficulty group. So those children with very high IQ who have what I call glitches. So they might have auditory processing disorder. Some of them can even have subtle language difficulty and things like ADHD and dyslexia. So we've also found that the ForWord programs have been very beneficial for that group of students as well. So I'm going to give you some examples now of behaviours that you might observe in a classroom that could indicate a student's suitability to do the ForWord program. Those children that sometimes misunderstand what you say, so they'll misinterpret your instruction, or they can't remember all of the instructions, so they'll be able to do maybe the first thing you ask, but they've forgotten the rest, and they'll often look to their neighbour to see what they have to do. We all know those children, when you give them an instruction, they'll look at you like they haven't heard it. They'll say, "Huh? What? What did you say?" They might even deny that you've asked them to do something. You also might notice those students that when you ask them a question, they seem to take longer to process the information. They can still give you the correct answer, but it just takes longer for that question to be processed before they can respond. So it'll be like a delayed response that you'll be observing. Children with language impairment too will often have a much reduced vocabulary, or they'll use less complex sentences than you would expect of a child of a certain age. They're not very good at show and tell because they have difficulty with expressing their ideas. They'll have difficulty retelling a story. And of course, in a classroom, you're all going to see those children who are struggling with reading and spelling. So all of those children would benefit from the Fast for Word programs.